So you're thinking about moving to Tucson, Arizona. Well, in this video today, we're going to go over Marana, Arizona. Marana is the fastest growing part of Tucson, all of Tucson. So it's a very fast growing area. It's a large area. Behind me is this new Fry's in Gladden Farms. It's the largest Fry's in all of Tucson, which is a grocery store, but they have clothing and lots of other things here too. So if you want to learn about Marana, you're going to want to watch all of this video, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you about some new things coming to Marana, and you're not going to want to miss that. So we're going to get after it right now. So Marana has a population of about 60,000 people, a little over, and that's growing because it's such a popular place and a growing community. In fact, I think it's the fastest growing community in all of Arizona. The average home price here, according to Zillow, is $437,000, and I would say that's about right. I think there's definitely homes in the 300,000s if you're starting out. They're not going to be all fixed up. You may have to do a little bit of work on them, but there's plenty of homes available in the 300,000s as well. But average home price $437,000, I would say that's about right. Marana is also one of the top 5 safest cities in all of Arizona. There was a study done recently by a law firm in Phoenix, and they checked out all of Arizona communities of 10,000 people or more, and Marana came in at number 5. Oro Valley, which is a suburb of Tucson as well, that came in number 1. And Sarita, I'm not sure where that came in. It was either 2 or 3, I think. Paradise Valley was also in there, which that's up towards Phoenix, and Sedona, Arizona was in there as well. But there was 3 of the suburbs of Tucson, which was Sahuarita, Marana, and Oro Valley, all came out as some of the safest places to live in all of Arizona. And that too is part of why it's growing, and it's growing really nicely. So I wanted to show you a map of Marana. You can see here this highlighted area is the map of Marana. It's about 25 miles from Marana to downtown Tucson. You can see Tucson here. It's about 25 miles on the freeway to get to downtown Tucson. Now Marana, as you can see, the I-10 freeway goes right through the middle of Marana. So when I talk about it, I'm going to be talking about the east side of the freeway and also about the west side of the freeway. We're going to start out down here, down low. This will be the Orange Grove exit. Then we go to the Ina exit. Then we've got the Cortero exit, and then the Twin Peaks exit. Then there's the Avra Valley exit, then the Tangerine Road exit, and then lastly, we're going to be at the Marana exit. Now the Marana, this is called the downtown Marana area over here, but this is actually a very rural part. So the closer you are to Tucson, this is more built up, and it slowly gets less and less built up as we go along. So I wanted to show you this map just so you'd have a little bit of direction. And I'm going to be talking about what's on both sides of the freeway. So I wanted to show you this map so you would have a little bit of direction. When I talk about Twin Peaks, this is right about here. There's an outlet mall right here. This Twin Peak Road turns and curves, and it goes up here. And this is all houses and stuff up here. The Ritz-Carlton's up here. A big fancy golf course is up there. So I wanted to be sure and show you that. When you get to Tangerine Road, this is where Gladden Farms is. We talk a lot about this. This is a really growing area. It's just booming out here with all new houses. It connects through, so Tangerine Road is both sides of the freeway. And then it hits this Twin Peaks. It turns into Dove Mountain and goes up there with the golf course and all. So all of that is off Tangerine Road. You can also get to it from the Twin Peaks Road that I talked about. And this area here is starting to fill in with homes. There's new subdivisions going in there. So I just wanted to show you on a map so you can kind of get an idea. This is north, and this is on your way to Phoenix. So if you're taking this freeway, the I-10 freeway, you're headed north to Phoenix, and it's starting to get much more rural out here. So I just wanted to give you a feel. I hope this map helped and it wasn't too scribbly for you, but as I'm talking about the different areas, I think it'll all start making sense. Now there's lots of schools in Marana. I wanted to be sure to mention that too. There's about 20 schools, elementary schools, middle schools, all the way up to high schools. So lots of schools all spread out throughout Marana. So the Marana area covers about 120 square miles here in Tucson. It's located northwest of Tucson. It's a little bit west of Oro Valley. And about 20 miles of it goes along the I-10 freeway. So we're going to start out kind of on the southern side of Marana. It covers both east and west sides of the freeway. Like I said, there's about 20 miles that goes along the freeway. So we're on the southern side, closest to Tucson. This area is very built up. It's been here, many, many years. There's Home Depot. There's next door is Costco. They have all the big things. You can see, I think maybe, I'm not sure, those big nets back there, that's Top Golf here in Marana. But they have, Target, Chick-fil-A, all the normal things you would have, Burger Kings, grocery stores, auto places. It's a very busy part of Marana. So next to the Home Depot here, they have, Sportsman's Warehouse, and then there's an indoor rock climbing place as well as a gymnastics place, which is really good because the kids need something to do when it's hot outside, so you bring them places like this. They can go in there and rock climb, and they can do gymnastics, sign up for gymnastics. In town, not Marana, but in town, there's something called the Sporting Chance, and a lot of sports are played there. It's a huge indoor gym. They have, I don't know how many basketball courts and volleyball courts, probably, a dozen at least. It's a huge place, and it's a lot of people take their kids there to do indoor sports. Like I said, not just from Marana. It's about 20 minutes from a lot of places. So no matter where you are in Tucson, you can take your kids there to play sports at the Sporting Chance. So this is kind of an older area in Marana. There's lots and lots of houses here. It just connects right to Tucson. And like I said, the convenient thing is it's right along the I-10 freeway. So that's really nice. You can get anywhere fast if you live in Marana. So Orange Grove would be the exit, probably furthest south here in Marana. Next, we're gonna go up to Ina Road. That would be the next exit. And there's, that's where the Target and everything is. The Costco and stuff is near the Orange Grove exit. Near Ina, there's the Target and so many other things. I mean, it's just very city. There's a big country western place, restaurant, bar / restaurant, and you can go dancing there. I think it's the biggest one in Arizona. Is that it's called Whiskey Roads, and it's a big bar / restaurant that people go to dance. They're also redoing the Foothills Mall, and that Whiskey Roads is right there by the Foothills Mall, and they tore it down and they're rebuilding it all new, and it's going to have restaurants, hotels, apartments. It's going to be quite the thing when it's finished. So that's a neat thing about Marana as well. After the Ina exit, the next one is Cortero. Cortero, that's where you're going to find Continental Ranch, which is a lot of older neighborhoods, but there's also a few newer neighborhoods, and that exit has, lots of different restaurants, the Texas Roadhouse, the Home Goods, the movie theaters, the TJ Maxx, Walmart, just lots and lots of things off of that exit. The next one would be Twin Peaks. And the Twin Peaks exit, there's lots of new building on the right-hand side. I'm going to say the east side. There's lots of new built homes, and then you'll see all that. The Twin Peaks Road actually changes, and it's called Dove Mountain at that point. If you go the other way, the west side of Twin Peaks, there's a lot of the Continental Ranch out there. The homes go all the way from Cortero, and they continue on all the way to Twin Peaks. It just kind of fills all that area in. There is a little bit of new building going on there as well, so that's good to know. On the west side, there's also a 55-plus retirement community called a Sunflower Community. It's a really neat neighborhood. It's older, but they've kept it up beautifully, and a lot of they have a country club in there and a lot of fun activities planned for people, and it's just a neat place. And on the east side of Twin Peaks, there is also, that big furniture warehouse and a car dealership, and they're just starting to build a lot of stuff right there. So this is an enormous furniture store. It's a warehouse / store. I don't know if you can get how big this place is just from this video, but it's an absolutely huge furniture store and warehouse they just built in Marana. The premium outlet malls here in Marana is right next door, so it's a great location. So it's located near Twin Peaks and the I-10 freeway, so anywhere in Tucson you can get to this place really quickly because you can take the freeway and get off right at Twin Peaks and you'll be here just like that. The next one is Avra Valley. Now, Avra Valley is kind of a rural exit. There's a few houses out there. There's a lot of mining that goes on out in Avra Valley, so it's not as built up. It's a little more rural, but it is starting to connect. That Continental Ranch area, once you go over a hill, there's a new build area called Saguaro Bloom that's absolutely beautiful. Lots and lots of cactus there. But saguaro cactus, just really pretty hilly, rocky, mountainy areas. And it's growing beautifully. The houses are really nice. And it's growing towards the Avra Valley area. But once you hit the Avra Valley one, that's getting more rural. The exit after that would be Tangerine Roads. You'll come to the Tangerine exit. So on the right-hand side, it looks a little bit rural. There's a few things there, but if you exited on Tangerine Road and you took it east towards the mountains, it does get busier and busier, and you'll hit the Dove Mountain area and eventually hit the Oro Valley area. That's where there's a whole lot of new family homes. There are just hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of new family-built homes out in Gladden Farms. Really nice area. The homes are beautiful, lots and lots of families and parks, and they've just planned it so well with trees and sidewalks and things like that. They have one elementary school out there. They're building a second one. They have one grocery store built. It's the Super Fries, really nice grocery store. So if you want to get into more shopping, you have to get on the freeway, and I would say, you're 10 or 15 minutes away from more shopping. So when you exit on Tangerine, there's just that Fries and maybe a car wash and a couple other things. Lots of parks and lots of families. They've planned the community really nice, but this area is starting to explode. It's really growing, this whole Gladden Farms area. So that's definitely something, if you're considering Marana, you'd want to check out. The exit after that would be the last exit. That's the Marana exit. That's what they call downtown Marana, but it's actually the most rural out of all the ones I just named. It's the furthest out. But like I mentioned, Tucson tends to grow out rather than up. So we're expanding and going out. Marana is the fastest growing part of Tucson, and it's growing a lot. So that downtown area, there's big plans for that. What they do have there is growing really nicely, and I'm telling you, it's funny, that exit is the last exit before you leave town. And all of a sudden, in the last 3 or 4 years, they've gotten a whole lot of new, just little fast food restaurants. They didn't have any of that before, and in the last 2 or 3 years, it's just exploded. And now I see they do have some subdivisions planned for out there. Now, mind you, again, it's on the outskirts of town. It's further than the Gladden Farms area. So to get to grocery stores, you'll probably go to the Gladden Farms grocery store, the one they just built, which is probably 15 minutes away. But to get into where Costco and Home Depot and all this stuff is, it's probably 20 minutes on the freeway to get here. I'd say that's about right. So it's growing and growing out that way. We're going to check it all out. We're going to do that right now. So Marana is about 120 square miles, and it covers a lot of territory here in Tucson. Like I said, it's the fastest growing part of all of Tucson. Marana is developing just so fast. So there's a lot of new builds out here, but there's also a lot of old area to Marana. There's newer areas like Dove Mountain, the Dove Mountain area. It's not all that new, but they're still building new homes up there. There's a couple different retirement communities up there that are 55 plus. There's the Del Webb, and then there's the Heritage Highlands, which has a golf course in there. There's also on the west side of the I-10 freeway, there's a Sunflower community, and that's a 55 plus. It does not have golf course. It's an older community, but it's really well kept. I think I have a video out on that if you want to check it out. So you'll want to check out, there's so many different areas to Marana that you're going to want to look at and see what areas you like. There's the newer ones, there's the older ones, there's several different schools, there's private schools, public schools, there's STEM schools that are really academic. There's Amazon buildings where they help, warehouses where they package things, and there's the Roche Tissue Diagnostics. They have one in Oro Valley, and they also have a big one out in Marana as well. So it's just a really growing part of Tucson. Marana is definitely worth the drive around and just exploring it. The Ritz-Carlton, like I said, is up there in Dove Mountain. There's a lot to see, lots of different, desert areas. There's little ranches and rural areas, and then there's busy subdivisions, and then there's houses on an acre or so. Like I said, it's a great area. They're proud of their farmland and their heritage, and they really contribute a lot to that and celebrate that a lot. Like I said, there's a Marana pumpkin patch, and it's huge, and it has lots of rides, and the kids love it, and they have music, and everyone from Tucson comes to the Marana pumpkin patch. It's not just Marana people, everyone from all over Tucson. I don't care which part you're from, not just in the fall, but also, in the winter. They have Christmas things, and they put on a lot of things there. It's a really fun place to take the kids. And there's some old ranches out here. They used to do a whole lot of cotton farming. There's still some farming that goes on in Marana. They're proud of their farm areas and their ranches that are out here. You'll see horses out here and cowboys where you don't see that in other areas, but it is growing. There's a lot of subdivisions, like I said, and new construction, a lot of new families out here, and it's growing really beautifully. Marana is 25 miles north of downtown Tucson, and it's about 85 miles away from Phoenix. So that's about an hour and a half to get into Phoenix. The population out here in Marana is about 58,000, a little more than that now. So it's a pretty good sized community. It's 120 square miles, so it's a good sized community, and there's a lot of room for growth, and it is growing. Here I'm at an elementary school here in Gladden Farms. They're actually building another elementary school I don't know, maybe a mile or so away, because it's just growing out here like crazy. Okay, so now for that big Marana news you've been waiting for, I'm going to tell you. Right now, I'm in the downtown Marana area. Now, downtown Marana sounds like a big deal, but I'll tell you, it's always been a very, very rural part of Tucson, of Marana. It's always been the rural part on the outskirts of town. There's like a little tiny grocery store out here. There's some old houses, lots of farms and ranches and things out here. But the big news is, I always thought it was funny they called it downtown Marana because it was so rural. There's this municipal building here behind me and a couple of other big buildings, but for the most part, it's always been considered a rural part of Marana. I mean, it takes you a good 20 minutes or so on the freeway to get to, good shopping where there's, Walmart and Target, and Costco's probably 25 minutes away. Target's probably, 20, 25 minutes away. So this has always been kind of rural farmland out here, with the exception of some old houses and stuff. They're starting to build subdivisions. Gladden Farms that I just showed you, that is a little bit far out. It's the outskirts of town. It's growing this way, and this downtown Marana and Gladden Farms, they're going to merge pretty soon. And they're starting to build lots of things here in this rural part that I was talking about, right by the freeway. In the last couple of years, they've added Dutch Bros and Starbucks and Taco Bell and Jack in the Box, and now they're building a KFC and a Dairy Queen. There's a Panda Express, McDonald's, Nico's, there's pizza, and it sounds very busy, but I'm telling you, on this part of Marana, that's all there is, and that's all there's been for a long time. But they've slowly added all these restaurants and things. But the big news is, behind me here, across the street from the municipal building, right there, there's 20 acres there that they're planning on developing, and it's going to be the main downtown of Marana. They're building restaurants, they're building shops, they're going to make it really nice. And Marana has always done a good job of pulling the community together and having community events and lots of things for the people that live out here, and they are doing a lovely job, and I know it's going to be nice. They're going to bring a bike loop out here. Tucson in general is really big on biking and hiking and outdoor things, so Marana's going to add a bike loop out here. So it's going to get very busy out here very quickly. I know there's been a 700 home subdivision approved out here, which that's the first new subdivision we've had out here in a really long time. So like I said, Gladden Farms and this Marana downtown area is really starting to grow, and they're growing together, and they're going to merge. The Gladden Farms area is a little closer into Tucson. Like I said, this area has always been considered very rural. It's the last, Marana has several exits, but this is the last Marana exit before you get on your way to Phoenix. So this really is kind of the outskirts of Tucson in general. So it's starting to grow and really fill in. There's going to be a lot of neat things coming here. It's definitely an area to keep your eye on. Thanks again for watching this video all about Tucson, Arizona. If you're thinking about moving to Tucson, you're going to want to subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Tucson, Arizona. We do new videos every single week trying to keep you updated and let you know just what's going on in Tucson. Until next time, I hope to see you around town. Bye-bye now.